Hello and welcome to this edition of UCentral News. I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
And I'm Patrick Talbot.
The Oklahoma House of Representatives has voted in favor of a bill that changes how convicted persons are brought up for parole. UCentral's Jonathan Richardson has the latest.
With this new bill being passed by the House of Representatives, what does it mean for the Pardon and Parole Board to not recommend to the governor if an inmate is sentenced to life in prison without parole? What does that do for inmates right here on death row at the Oklahoma Department of Corrections? The Parole Board's recommendation was a tool in governor's decision to commute Julius Jones' execution to life in prison without parole. I sat down with J.B. Williams, an activist and friend of Julius Jones.
Look at, how it's written, the dates and all these things. Like it might as well be called the Julius Jones bill. Death is off the table, but he still has a life sentence. What's scary was the arrogance and the excitement that people have on their face and in their spirits to hurt other people.
And how is a person's demeanor, knowing their life is on the line?
He's the kind of person, you call him or he calls you and, he'll be like, hey, you doing okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. Well, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like making sure I'm okay. And this man's sitting on death row. He was telling me to, call this person, tell him I said I love him, call this person, what I'm saying? Because he can't make all those calls, you know what I mean? And that was the hardest thing ever.
The bill can now be heard on the Senate floor. Their decision will be very important to the parole board and inmates with this sentence. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Jonathan Richardson, UCentral News.
Thanks, Jonathan. And 2 years after the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Oklahoma, state health officials say that they are moving their response efforts to an endemic level. Starting this week, the health department will stop their daily COVID updates and instead release data on Thursdays.
Thank you. And Oklahoma lawmakers unveiled new restrictions on medical marijuana today. UCentral's Shannon Schwa has an update on this ongoing story.
Earlier today, Republicans at the Oklahoma House unveiled new medical marijuana restrictions designed to crack down on illegal growers who sell cannabis on the black market. The 12-point plan includes standardization of lab testing and equipment, more inspections on grow facilities, separate licenses for marijuana wholesalers, and stricter reporting requirements for electric and water usage by growers. Okmulgee Representative Scott Fettgatter said, quote, "If you're an illegal operator in Oklahoma, your time is up." Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Shannon Chua, UCentral News.
Thanks, Shannon. And oil prices continue to surge as Ukraine and Russia fight on. Prices have soared to their highest since 2008. In response to Russia's demands, U.S. Secretary Antony Blinken said this.
I was on the phone yesterday with the president and other members of the cabinet on exactly this subject, and we are now talking to our European partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the import of Russian oil while making sure that there is still an appropriate supply of oil on world markets.
And a Russian strike hit a civilian evacuation point outside of Kyiv, reportedly killing 8 people, including 2 children, as they tried to flee their homes. Fears are mounting for the civilians trapped inside the cities of Mariupol, Volnovska, and Kyiv as Russian aggression continues. Ukraine and Russia will hold a 3rd round of talks Monday, according to negotiators.
And Governor Stitt appointed Tulsa County District Judge William Muessmann Jr. to Oklahoma's Court of Appeals. Stitt says he has every confidence that Muessmann Jr. will serve Oklahomans in his role. His predecessor is Judge Dana Kuhn.
And it got incredibly cold outside, incredibly fast as well. The 70s looks like are behind us, at least for the time being, and I'm not excited about it.
No, I'm not excited about it either. CJ, what do you got for us at this first look?
Well, that's right, Patrick and Jackson. It definitely is not something to be excited about, especially after that warmer weather that we had going into last week. This is definitely a big shock for most of us here in Oklahoma as this colder temperature starts to make its way into the state. Sitting here in Edmond at about 40 degrees under fair skies, definitely feeling a lot colder than it did last week here in Edmond. Winds a little bit gusty out today, blowing north at about 15 miles per hour, but that wind is going to be steady. We could see some gusts of maybe 20 to 25, but for the most part, it's going to stick around 15. The humidity sitting at about 50%, feeling not very humid out there, and it's feeling like it's 32. So definitely feeling very cold, very blustery out here in Edmond, Oklahoma today. So I hope you guys brought your jackets, brought your gloves, because it is going to stick around for the time being. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines coming up for this week. We are going to see a lot colder temps as we start to move into this week, as we see that Arctic air start to stick around from that cold front that moved in on Sunday. But we are going to see less wind as we start to go throughout the week. So that wind's going to die down, going to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. None of this gust nonsense that we've been having the past couple of days. And I know you guys are tired of hearing this. I'm tired of hearing it too, but we do have a chance for a wintry mix coming into this weekend. It's not going to be as bad as that ice storm that we had a couple of weeks ago, but it is going to stick around and make life pretty cold for Oklahoma. So the guys, that's all I have for right now. Stay tuned. Back to y'all at the desk.
I'll say it ain't so, CJ, but thanks, I guess. Scissortail Park is expecting some new changes, including an art installation. UCentral's Ben Anderson has more on the story.
Those visiting Scissortail Park might want to keep an eye across the street in the coming months for a new art installation. Allied Arts, a nonprofit that raises funds to provide free and low-cost art programs to the community, is commissioning a sculpture to be put on display on the west side of the new convention center downtown.
Initially started out as a smaller 12-foot piece at Lake Hefner, and it just kept growing. It went to 16 feet, and then the location changed. It went from Lake Hefner to the convention center, and then it went from 16 to 24 feet, and that's where we're at now, is 24 feet.
The art piece, titled Together Together, is supposed to represent the Oklahoma community coming together in support of one another in times of hardship.
You've got, three figures, and they've got heads inside the heads, which is just these lines here are indicative of, and they're about communication, and then these lines on the body and the voids are about, the roadmaps of life and the things that happen to us that make us uniquely who we are and our experiences. And so you've got, multiple heads and personalities and figures. So that's the concept of Together Together.
With the project having recently been approved by the Downtown Design Review Committee and the City Council, SLAC expects the real work on the project to begin soon, though it will take some time to complete.
It's going to take me 1,000 hours with another 700, hours of help. As far as red tape and stuff slowing me down, I don't know with that, but if I could just work on it, it would be a 6-month job.
Assuming everything goes according to plan, OKC residents and visitors will be able to view the sculpture in late November of this year. From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Ben Anderson, UCentral News.
And thank you very much, Ben, for that update. And also, join Dr. Rosemary A. Vance, the Assistant Professor of Media and Strategic Communications at Oklahoma State University, for the Edmond Chambers Diversity and Inclusion Series to learn about implicit bias in the hiring and promotion processes. You can register online to join this virtual event.
And tickets are available to purchase for the Radke UCO's theater department new play called The Mad Ones. The play is premiering on Wednesday evening at 7:30. You can find the link to tickets on the university's website.
And coming up, we're going to have more information on a dining room survey from Ayers Kitchen, if I can say that right.
Yeah, and we will also have more information on UCO Women's Month webinar. CJ, what do you got for us?
Well, coming up in weather, we'll go ahead and take a look at your forecast for this week. It is going to stay cold. However, we are going to see some hope on the horizon, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back to UCentral News. Teachers in Oklahoma continue to struggle as a bill makes its way through the Capitol, threatening school funding. UCO's Kelly Merka has more.
Educators, school staff, and parents from around the state gathered at the Capitol at the start of Public Education Week. They were protesting current legislation that would affect rural schools and add further restrictions to the classroom. I spoke with Erica Wright, a parent from Noble and founder and organizer of the Rural Schools Coalition. Wright says they are worried about how the Education Savings Account voucher bill will affect their funding.
It's very ripe for fraud and abuse and waste.
The bill Erica is referring to, Senate Bill 1647, would allocate state funding to private schools, meaning less money could go to rural schools that already deal with a lack of funding. Other teachers and parents spoke at the rally ahead of a speech by State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister, who condemned the legislation. It is important to note that she is running as a Democrat against Governor Stitt in the upcoming gubernatorial election.
Governor Stitt's voucher plan will mean millions of dollars in cuts to your children's education, and it will dismantle public education, and it will be a rural school killer.
As of February 15th, the bill has made it out of committee and progressed through the Senate. However, House Republican Charles McCall has said voucher bills, specifically the Education Savings Account bill, were not his priority and would not be heard in the House. We will continue to monitor the progression of the bills of the 2022 legislative session and keep you updated. From Oklahoma City, I'm Kelly Merka, UCentral News.
Thank you very much, Kelly. UCO dining services are seeking participation in upcoming focus group sessions regarding dining experiences on campus, as well as the dining needs of the campus. Focus groups for students will be held Thursday, March 10th in the Nye University Center in room 301. Go stop by and get a free meal.
And Toastmasters International will be hosting a free webinar for this year's International Women's Day. You will be able to hear from a variety of women in leadership and discover their visions of a gender-equal world. Register on the Toastmasters International website. Space is limited, and this event will be held tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
That's right. And also, we were talking about a little bit earlier that colder weather starting to run through. The 70s behind us. That winter starting to come back, give us a last leg, last sigh of cold air.
Yeah, and that temperature definitely has dropped quite a bit since Saturday. CJ, what can we expect for tonight into the rest of the week?
Well, that is definitely for sure, Patrick. We have seen a very steep temperature drop this week, and it's a lot different than the 70s and 80s that we had last week. So it is definitely a very big drop in temperature as that colder air starts to move in. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines for this week. Colder temps as well, but with those colder temps, we are going to see less wind as well. So those wind chills will go down as well as we start to get less wind moving into the forecast. And I know you guys are tired of hearing this. I'm tired of saying it, but we do have a chance for a wintry mix to make its way through on this weekend. It isn't going to be as bad as it was the past couple of weeks, but it is still going to be very much a threat and something to look forward to. Let's go ahead and check around current conditions around the state of Oklahoma right now. As you can see, very different than what we had last week. 40s and 30s all around the state. As you can see in Guymon, 41, Woodward, 36, and all the way even in southern Oklahoma, in Ardmore and Altus and Idabel, you guys are sitting in the 40s as well. So it's definitely feeling very cold around the state overall as that cold front has made its way through the state, and it's going to stick around here for a couple of days as we go into next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect for tonight here in Edmond. The low is going to be 28 under mostly cloudy skies. Winds are going to die down too. They're still going to be blowing, but it's going to be very less, blowing at about 5 miles per hour. Humidity as well is going to drop a little bit, and we aren't going to see any rain chances this night, but it is going to definitely stay cold tonight and into tomorrow morning. Let's go ahead and check around lows for the entire state. As you can see, it is going to get very cold for the majority of Oklahoma. The only one under or over freezing, I should say, being Idabel, and they're sitting at 34. As you can see, in Oklahoma City, 27. Guymond up there at 19. Y'all are getting the worst of it over there. But it is going to stay cold here in Oklahoma for the next couple of days, and it's going to be very cold tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at temps for tomorrow. As you can see, in Guymond, sitting at 50 for the high tomorrow, Woodward 49, Oklahoma City 47. So it is going to stay a little colder tomorrow, but we are going to see some warmer weather start to make its way through as we go throughout this week. Let's take a look at our daily forecast real quick. Tomorrow at 7 a.m. it's going to be a cool 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies, so it's going to be pretty cold for your morning commute tomorrow morning. So you might want to grab a jacket, some gloves, a beanie maybe on your commute to work, school, or whatever you have to do. And as we go into noon, that temperature is going to rise up, but it is going to stay pretty cold. It's going to be 41 degrees at about noon. And then going into the evening, where we're going to see our high temperature, it's going to be 47 degrees under relatively clear skies. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 7-day forecast coming up here real quick. As you can see, going into Tuesday and Wednesday, on Wednesday that temperature is going to jump up to about 59 degrees. That's going to be our warmest day of this week. And then going into Thursday, that temperature is going to drop down. And then on Friday, we're going to start to see another front move in. That's when we're going to get the chance for some snow, along with some freezing rain and sleet. However, it is a very low chance, sitting at only a 30% chance of precipitation on Friday. And then moving into Saturday and Sunday, we are going to see the temperature start to rise up a little bit. And on Sunday, we're going to be returning to our what I would consider normal temperatures, being about 68 degrees. So guys, that's all I have for weather right now. It's going to stay cold this week, so bundle up if you can. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ. And don't go anywhere. We're going to have more from the Central music scene with UCentral's Tyler right after the break.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hello, and welcome to the Central Music Scene. I'm Tyler Lurch, and I've been a musician for over 10 years. I'm also involved with the local music scene here in Oklahoma. I'll be bringing you all the latest news related to local artists, shows, releases, and national music news. Let's get right into it. First up for today, John Mayer has departed from Columbia Records. Columbia Records has been distributing and releasing his music since 2001. On last Friday, John Mayer released a statement on Instagram saying, "Hard as it is to say goodbye, I'm excited to pursue new avenues of making music, both on my own and with other artists." There hasn't been any announcement about a new label for John Mayer, but the Central Music Scene will keep you updated as the situation develops. And second for today, the Red Hot Chili Peppers have released a video game. The game is based off the 1999 track Californication, as well as its music video. The game is available to download on Mac and PC, but sadly the game doesn't feature any of the band's music due to licensing reasons, but YouTube links are included in the game to the band's music. Along with the video game release, the band announced a world tour to pair with their upcoming album, Unlimited Love. The album will be the first to feature John Frusciante, a past member and guitarist of the band since 2006. The album will be released April 1st. And third for today, if you're looking for something to fight that cold weather off and you're looking for some warm weather sounds, look no further than 5 Seconds of Summer's latest single. 5 Seconds of Summer released their latest single titled Complete Mess last Thursday. This is the first song from 5 Seconds of Summer since 2020 and is released in part with their announcement of a world tour this year. For more information on tickets and show dates, you can visit www.5sos.com. And finally for today, rock and metal just got a little bit more theatric with Ghost's new single, 20s, that was released on March 2nd. The band is famous for tracks like Seriously, Square Hammer, and Dance Macabre. The single is also the third released in anticipation for the band's upcoming album, Impera, which is set to be released this Friday, March 11th. If you'd like to check out the single, it is available on all streaming services now. Well, that's all I have for you today. Be sure to check in on Wednesday for this week's lineup of shows around OKC, as well as more music news. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you very much, Tyler, for that music update. And after the break, we're going to go over to Peyton Scott for news on UCentral sports and Broncos sports. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, Bronco fans. I'm Peyton Scott, and this is your sports update. UCO's MIAA tournament run ended Saturday in Kansas City with a 79-65 semifinal loss to Washburn. The Ichabods got out to a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left in the first half and never looked back. Con Hayden and Isaiah Wade led the way in points for the Broncos with 22 for Hayden and 15 for Wade. The NCAA announced yesterday in the Division II Men's Basketball Championship selection show that UCO will be one of the 64 teams in the 2022 Division II National Championship tournament. The Broncos are the number 5 seed in the Central region and will go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the regional. First round action tips off Saturday. Central is scheduled to play Saturday, March 12th against 4th seeded Upper Iowa at 7:30 p.m. UCO's women's basketball team had its season come to an end Thursday with a 71-63 loss against Fort Hays State in the quarterfinals of the 2022 MIAA Basketball Championships. The Broncos came back with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the last quarter to tie the game, but the Tigers were too much for UCO. It was announced yesterday that Central Oklahoma senior forward Kelsey Johnson was named to the MIAA All-Tournament team. Johnson averaged 27 points per game and 10.5 rebounds per game over the tournament. The number 13th ranked Broncos had their 14-game winning streak snapped with a 3-0 loss to the host Drury Panthers before rebounding with a run rule of Southwest Baptist University. Central finished 3-1 in the two-day event and is now 17-3 on the season. Amelia Huggins, Shayla Harper, and Taryn Ritz all smacked home runs as Central beats Southwest Baptist 11-3 Sunday afternoon in the final game of the Drury Classic. UCO begins defending its MIAA title this weekend, hosting Emporia State and Washburn for doubleheaders Friday and Saturday. Wyatt Gray, Clayton Pearson, and Garrett Takamasu combined for 9 extra base hits and 22 runs batted in route to the Broncos winning a pair of MIAA slugfests, winning up by scores of 19-2 and 17-11 at Wendell Simmons Field over the weekend. UCO had 32 hits, including 15 for extra bases, and taking a series win over the Hillcats to improve to 9-6 overall and 4-2 in the league. UCO returns to action Tuesday with a non-conference game at Oklahoma Baptist before resuming MIAA play next weekend with a 3-game home series against Missouri Southern. And that's everything I have for sports today. For more news, scores, and updates on everything UCO athletics, visit broncosports.com. Have a great day, Edmond, and we'll take it back to Jackson and Patrick at the desk.
Thank you very much, Peyton. Then after the break, we're going to talk about a little special event for UCO's Jazz Lab. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, and we are in the midst of a cold week ahead of us. Let's go ahead and check in with CJ and see what he's got for us. CJ, what do you got?
That's right, Patrick. It is going to be a brisk week ahead of us, as we see right here behind me, the colder temperatures as well. Let's go ahead and take one last look at our 7-day forecast real quick. As you can see, coming into Tuesday, it's going to be 48, and then on Wednesday, it's going to jump up to about 59. Same for Thursday. And then as we go into the weekend, we are going to see that chance for that wintry mix start to make its way into the state with that sleet, snow, and freezing rain possibility. It is a low chance for snow and sleet. However, it is still a chance. And then going into the weekend, we are going to see some more warmer temperatures going up to 51 on Saturday. And then finally on Sunday, coming back up to about 68 degrees. So guys, it's going to be a cold week ahead of us, but we are going to see some hope on the horizon with some warmer temperatures going into next week. Guys, that's all I have for weather. Back to y'all.
Thank you very much for all of your weather updates, CJ. And let me tell you, it's going to be an interesting week coming up with this colder weather. For sure. But there is a 20-year celebration at the Jazz Lab happening.
Yep. It's going to include a special guest, Clyde Connor and David Anderson tonight. So if you're looking for something to do, swing by the Jazz Lab online or calling the UCO box office. So yeah, it'll be a fun night.
Yeah, just go out and enjoy yourselves if you're looking to try something new. Yep. So, but with that being said, that's all the time we're going to have for today. I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
I'm Patrick Talbot. Have a good night, Broncos, and stay safe.
Stay warm as well.